Do you want to use your willpower and to be successful in your life? At the onset, you have to know what willpower is. Only then will you be able to effectively use willpower. If you are so eager to use your willpower and to be successful in your life, listen to this video. Welcome to Jais Talk. Let's see how willpower help you a person to be successful in his or her life. If you take a person's life, it can be segmented. It can be compartmentalized into 4 groups, 25% each, or 4 segments. First 25% of a person's life is determined by the DNA that he inherited from his parents. For example, his parents are singers. Both father and mother are good singers. Definitely the son would be a good singer. At least he would be able to sing decently. Likewise, whatever parents possess, to a greater extent or minimum 25% would be inherited by a child. We cannot escape ourselves from this very fact, from this scientific fact. It means the total sum of a person's life is determined, or 25% of a person's life is determined, or his behavior, his pattern of demeanor, and everything is decided by, means 25% is controlled and decided by the DNA that he inherited from his parents, where we can't do anything. Next 25% is nothing but the environment where somebody is being brought up. As somebody was brought up in his childhood. Could be his neighbors. As he or she is a small child, the environment where he or she is brought up, the neighbors, the neighboring families, his or her friends, or the school where he or she studied, the homely ambience, the behavior pattern of the parents, father, mother, grandparents, his or her siblings, all these factors play a vital role, 25%. In the childhood itself, the formation of his behavior is very much influenced by these factors. As a result, these factors would be cemented in his or her subconscious mind, and later he or she cannot change that. 55% is not at our hands, we cannot do it. The milieu, the situation where one is brought up, 25%. And another 25% is the DNA he or she has inherited from his or her parents. Next 25% is called luck or fate. There is no scientific fact or scientific truth or scientific verisimilitudes. People would be using different words to term this 25%. Some people would say luck. Some people would say it's his or her fate. Some people would say in Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, they would say that it's karmas of the previous birth. Though there is no scientific base, this is a fact. Encyclopedia Britannica conducted a study on the most successful 1,000 people from different arenas, like sports, the most successful sports personalities in the world, from sports, from business, from politics. Likewise, they selected the most successful 1,000 people and conducted a study. What made them to be the most prominent in their life or in the sports? They came to a conclusion on a single factor, that luck, or else some turning points, or else some fate, or something which cannot be explained, played a vital role in their life. This is a fact. People would call it, as I just told you before, fate or luck, the karmas of previous life, etc. But this is a scientific fact. Even Encyclopedia Britannica has accidentally ascertained this verisimilitude. In totality, what I'm trying to tell you is that 75% of our life is controlled by external factors where we can't do anything. It's a reality. the DNA of our parents, the milieu, the situation where we are brought up, or the luck or a fate or the karmas of the previous births. This 75% is not at our hands. We can't control it. Whereas the remaining 25% is purely determined by our willpower. If we properly use our willpower, this 25% willpower, we can defeat this 75% of other external factors like the DNA that we have inherited from our parents, or the luck, or the fate, or whatever you call it, etc. Even the situation where we brought it up. We have lots of histories in our life, the history of the prominent people. They brought up in a very pathetic condition, they lived in a very pathetic condition, they were born to a very broken family, or they were born to a very impoverished, very poor family, but they became the great successful in their life. So how they could overcome all these things is that just using their willpower, 25%. So I exhort you, provided you are able to make use of the willpower, that 25%, you can defeat the 75% of the external factors. In another video, I will just share with you as to how to develop a very strong willpower and defeat these 75% external factors. Thank you very much for your patient listening to me.